Assalamu alaikum mbokk yi. Thank you very much. mbokk yi ngeen baala ma wax ci ne maa ngi live rek. bro maa ngi live naa la ko later. mbokk yi ngeen baala ma si loolu dafa amoon call bu ñëw mu am pour jël ko. Assalamu alaikum, man la Ben Soare, Suleiman Ben Soare, the Delsuat Facebook Live on the Open Gambia platform. Again, bear me 1 minute, must share video and you must start program. One minute, okay? I'll come back. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Today is Friday, the 28th of October 2022. The time just gone 11 minutes past 6 o'clock in the afternoon in Birmingham, England. Juma Mubarak to all of you. Juma Mubarak to all of you. The program today is to discuss the state of affairs. I've put some talking points, blood points that I will refer to present this program. And we are at a critical moment. Gambia is at a critical moment. And I will first have to explore in brief the external shocks from a perspective of the NPP election propaganda. Because we have to realize something here, that the government is not coming with solutions. We have found ourselves here because of the government have failed. But there are challenges that are coming from what happens, beyond the control of our government or African governments and so forth. But it happens that our government was never prepared for any serious, taking any serious action in development. We cannot turn around to blame the COVID. We cannot turn around to blame Russia and the Ukraine crisis or other crises. We cannot. What we have to do is to make sure we hold the government accountable based on evidence. And this evidence is clear for all of us to see. What the government have been doing, did they deliver? Did they work on any development program that is sustainable, that could have helped? And when the COVID came around, what did they do? They went around, they took opportunity of the COVID even to be more corrupt. Everything about the COVID was corruption. From the procurement of equipments to fight these things, the procurement from Turkey, we have seen the audit reports. The government took an advantage and millions of dollars were misused. from the other procurement of order supplies, the same thing. And when we talked about stimulus to the economy or to help the people, everything was partisan and was abused, and some party militants make something out of it, and the sister of Allah Abubakar Jawara and sisters of Barrow and other party members made money out of it. Still now, what they have been paid for have not been delivered to the people. Corruption again. When we came to the area of the tourist industry, almost 100 million or so have just vanished, and nothing have been accounted for by the tourism ministry. Nothing, technically, the people in the industry did not have the help. Not only that, now they cannot turn around to use the crisis as an example or as an excuse. If they have done something, it would not have been this bad. We could have produced more. Agriculture could have been doing better, because of we cannot blame the lack of development in agriculture on COVID or other elements from outside the country. But we will come onto something else. We realize that this government failed because what they have before was a program called the National Development Plan, the NDP. Did anyone hear about this NDP after few months? No, because everything moved from NDP, National Development Program, to Personal Development Program, and we have seen the evidence of the success of the Personal Development Program. They all became rich. They all became rich, wealthy, and the others running around, barking for them, were given crumbs, and we have seen the evidence of that. Be those on the ground, be those from the diaspora, been flying in, flying out, been hotel paid for, or accommodation given, allowances been given, vehicles been given. We have seen the evidence of that. We have seen the evidence of that. There's no national development program. Everything became corruption, and we're going to talk about that corruption. The other point was reforms. Apart from the economic development program, the other challenges was to reform programs. From the institutional reforms, there's nothing absolutely that have worked. Nothing absolutely. The civil service reform is nil. It's a continuity of what we had before the IJM regime. The security sector reform, nil. And the evidence of that, this is why we still have ECOMIG in the country. If they had confidence that they have reformed the armed forces, ECOMIG would not happen there. There's no other threat apart from them thinking or believing that our armed forces is a threat to Barrow. Barrow is scared of that armed forces. He failed to reform the armed forces. We have seen our police. From everything they do, is just the same tactics, the same way, it's the same people in the system. There's no reforms. I am not saying that there are no good people in uniform, but the institutions are not fit for purpose because they are not well led, they are not being reformed so that they'll be effective and win back the confidence and deliver what they're supposed to do. And reforms is a huge thing. From all that needed to be done, nothing has been done technically. The mindset is the same, and we have seen how they deal with incidents, how poor they deal with crime and every other thing. Their lack of equipments, their lack of logistic supplies, the morals of the police officers, and so on. But one thing we see as Yaya Jammeh is the PIU will come out fully kitted, ready to battle the citizens. That's what they're fully kitted, ready to battle with the citizens. But you look at every other aspect of the police department, from prosecution, the capacity, it's new. Look at the cases they have. To the general duties, look at the morals of the police. To traffic, look at the death rate on traffic. From every other thing, there's no investment. That's why we cannot turn around just to blame the individual police officers, but we have to blame the institutions and blame the government for failure to reform it. That reform failed. But there are other challenges that come with that reform. Because of the failure of the reforms have brought challenges, but again, we look at the dynamics, what it created with the international community. The government failed to, we all remember when they came for the donor conference, the EU donor conference, where Barrow said that Gambia would receive so much resources that even the blind would see that we've gained something out of it. We failed because of the reforms were not delivered. And right now there are technically support is coming, and Gambians have to be very careful about this. You see, the international community might not approve of the government, but they will continue to give a little bit of support because they don't want to create a vacuum and China, Turkey, India to come and fill the vacuum. The support they're given, it's not about supporting us. It's a trade deal they have. It's a way of keeping us dependent. It's a way for them to have a leverage so that they can influence us, our economic policies. I mean, you'll be surprised that some of the strings attached, when America said that they're giving us something, strings attached that we have to be importing certain things from America, or we have to allow our markets to open for certain export from American farmers and other things. There's so many other things. Now, but in many aspects, you might hear, oh, World Bank, you see, World Bank is approve of the government, World Bank is giving this much loan or assistance, IMF is in approval of the government. No, that's why we are poor, because the government does not have any idea, doesn't have any program, doesn't follow any development concept to develop our nation. All they do is dependent, and anything that comes is squandered. And it created the problems we have. That will bring us to the corruption. That will bring us to the corruption. And then, number 3, the challenge to tackle the outcome of incompetency and corruption in the social, economic, and infrastructures. Now, because of this corruption, the politicization, they went and borrowed money, so much money in the domestic markets. Remember, I said the international market have technically stopped to interfere in some of their priorities, because that was not the right priorities. They went on to say that, oh, they want to do these things because for them, that will give them support from the people for the elections, when those areas were not the priorities. And they went and borrowed from the domestic markets, and overborrowed, it caused that inflation we have to, part of what causes the high inflation we have today in our economy. In that borrowing, the central bank allowed to relax the laws, the policies, so that the government will go and borrow. And some of this borrowing were not even put in the books properly. They were to commercial banks, and and the borrowing too they did for the projects, but not only for the projects, for the kickbacks and the corruption that ensued. That's why we see the Banjul projects, the Hakalang projects, all the different projects, technically they are all failed, because they are not the quality of what we have paid for, because of the kickbacks that have that took place in drafting the deals. But again, because of it was not based on any strategic development plan. There's no other thing that can be leveraged from those roads. Yes, it might make it quicker for some people and other things, but that, I mean, that amount of money could have been spent in a different way to bring out more money, and those roads could have been built cheaper and better at a time, and communities benefit. But you build a road through communities, but those communities are not supported with fertilizer, are not supported with farm utensils, are not supported in the healthcare. They are not even well enough or fed enough to go out there to work, so that the roads can benefit, so that they can produce, and those produce can be put on the road to bring it to the markets. You see, it has to be linked. It's interlinked. But no, okay, let's do it for the Badiwunkas to support us. Let's do it for the Kiankas to support us. Let's do it for Fuladu to support us. Let's do it for the Kombunkas to support us. Let's do it for Bakankas to support us. It does not work. We must have a plan. But It's not about only the politicization, it's the corruption. Look at the opportunity. The social infrastructure just collapsed. Education collapsed completely. It did not get better. They will give you different statistics, but we all know it did not get better. It collapsed. The few schools that have been rehabilitated, classroom built, is a lie. The government did not build them. The government did not build those classrooms. They are built by a charitable foundation. MRC Holland, but they will go around touting this. What benefit does it have? They went on to say that they are doing the university extension. I mean, they're building the new university, fine. But they went on and distracted to say that they are building a separate university, science and this, to say that they've introduced a university, when there was already a program. The existing university facilities are not even developed yet. They started a new one to say that Obama to have a university. It was politicized and done by this vice president. Now, what does that do? Take resources from where it's supposed to go. Now, we went and took more loans and other things we did. Instead of putting capacity now to the students to be able to access equipment and other things, we are still building. Those buildings could have been finished if we have concentrated on one university to make sure all the facilities are in there before we look at other things. But everything else was about corruption. A huge corruption for that matter. The healthcare system completely collapses, and we can see the outcome of this. Technically, nothing we have, not even labs in our hospitals. Simple labs, not blood banks, not simple labs. We cannot test for anything. Anything that comes into all the medication that come to the country, we just accept it. We don't have the competency to control anything because of the politicization, because of corruption. You might have good health workers, but they don't have the tools to do what they're supposed to do. They are not motivated. They are not being supported. How do we expect to develop? All this created an unhealthy nation. An unhealthy nation. Because of this government went on corruption, went on divisive politics, keep on lying to the people in order to win an election and end up stealing elections. And unfortunately, they undermine our justice too, and the justice played a part in the theft of election. Now, this is why we have the government we have. But let's move on again. We saw the bankruptcy in NAWEC. NAWEC did not get better from what they inherited. It got worse. Compared, taking into consideration billions more than what we used to spend, have been spent on NAWEC, did not get better. NAWEC technically is bankrupt. That's why they're doing an investigation on NAWEC after 6 years in government. Not water, not electric. How can we develop when we cannot even produce water for our people to drink? Clean drinking water. We cannot have energy to power our industry, energy to power our houses. How can we develop? How can we develop? But not only that, internet ITC, look at it. Gambia is one of the most expensive when it comes to internet services. But our main provider or the state-owned companies, Gamtel and Gamcell, bankrupt, worse than what they have inherited. What can this government claim they have done? Worse than they have inherited. And this is part of a our critical infrastructure sector that can develop a backbone that we can develop that country. No wonder we are not developing. We are not creating jobs. Jobs are not being created with all the billions pumped in there where it is. The corruption. We move on to our ports. I have heard this rumor, I've not seen the proof yet, that they have ended up privatizing it. We will have to look into that. But we know that they have bankrupt the ports, Gambia Ports Authority, worse than what they have inherited, worse than what have they improved? We have now seen our airport. Our airport have never failed a safety check. Now, they have to be forced to do what they're supposed to do in order for flights to continue to operate. Look at our ferry services. And Gambia, we have to wake up. We have to stand up. We are not praying for that. But this government will wait until disaster happen again. They will say that a commission of inquiry to investigate why the ferry sank. It's a coffin on water. 6 years. The only ferry they received was something precarious before this government. They received that ferry. When they just come in, they received that ferry. Still now, what happened? Last year, they said they procured 4 engines, almost $30 million euros. Where is that? Where are those engines? Yes, few days ago, someone was giving updates that they are spending 2.5 hours to cross from Barra. One time, they don't know whether they're going back to Barra or they're coming to Banjul. That's how bad it is. How bad it is. Just imagine how that affects our economy. But again, God forbid, if an accident should happen. And why do we sit down here thinking that, oh, don't pray for accident? Nobody is praying for accident. But you think that we fold our hands and do things wrong and expect to have something right? We see coffins being put on this. Where is the money? Why is not being managed well? How comes the government cannot? One time we hear that, oh, now there's another Turkish company coming. Where's the Turkish company? Who tells you that this government don't do anything right? They said there was a Turkish company coming to operate ferries. Where is the Turkish company? That too have become a failure. The central bank, our central bank, part of our problem now. That central bank that would have been serving as the backbone of the economy. The policies, they accepted their policies just to be relaxed for the politicization of sake. And now the corruption is scandal against scandal. Now technically we are just gone bankrupt. We don't have a forex system anymore because of the patrons of this government, close to Adama Barrow, sponsors of NPP, now given the reserves. The same government been telling us they have 4 months, 6 months reserve cover. Now, where's that reserve cover? How comes business people are crying out that they cannot access foreign currency? Where's the reserve cover? Because of most of it is gone. Why are they not coming out again to tell us that they have that reserve cover? Because they've been given to people to launder the money. Because this is what happened with corruption. When they are corrupt, they get the dalasi, they have to change the dalasi to foreign currency so that they can export it. Go and look at any country, it happens. That's why any government change in Africa and corruption, they went and raid them, you find so much dollars in their houses. Because that's the process for them to launder the money, have to change it to dollars for them to launder. They will build houses here, build houses there. They've already built their houses in Gambia, built their houses in Senegal. They are taking the money out to buy houses in Europe and other places and to spend. This is why we have a problem. The central bank is a problem. Tourism have completely failed. It has not developed from any statistic they're telling you, it's a lie. It's a lie. Most of what we depend now is repeat tourism, or people who are already technically Gambians, tourists who have buy houses, compounds, and so on, and Gambian diaspora mainly. Go and look at the flight manifest and see how many people are residents of Gambia or Gambian diasporans. And did we expand our tourism? Did we get better? No, corruption. We had a program, they had a program for what? Eco tourism. 6, I think, eco lodge. Nothing has been built today. And nothing came out of it. The people responsible, Ahmad and others, nothing came out of it. 6 eco lodge. They corruptly spend the money. Nothing, not one eco lodge has been delivered. From Barra to wherever they counted it. It was all a campaign where it is. The same tourism, the land they're talking about, they took from our women in Kololi. Go and find out how many part of that land have been demarcated and given to Indians, Senegalese, and themselves for money. That's a scandal. That happened. The people that work within the Tourism Development Board wrote a petition, went to Parliament, nothing came out of it. And that those people end up being victimized, being people very qualified, very effective, who are being sent to the provinces, areas they have nothing to do. Now they allow these most corrupt people, incompetent, to be in office. That's why tourism cannot develop again. You see what are we dealing with? Then we move on to again the petroleum scandal, Gambia Petroleum and petroleum marketing scandal. You see, we told you that this is the cartel themselves. Yeah, Gambia government cannot afford, because of the corruption, because of the lack of productivity, because they have overtaxed people. And the people that's supposed to really pay tax are not paying tax. They meant to pay. Are not paying tax they meant to pay. That's why if those people been taken to court, I hope their lawyers can understand how to go for the tax receipts and see whether these companies or these business people are paying the tax required. They are not. And end of the year, they will be celebrated as giving badges for the people that paid most tax. They didn't pay a fraction of the tax they meant to pay. Our sisters, mothers, brothers who are in the markets been chased around every day, not making enough and been taxed. Those are the people to be celebrated, not the big tax ticket holders who are not paying the required tax. They come out to say that, yeah, Africell paid more tax. It's all, don't believe it. They are not paying the tax they meant to pay. And they are robbing the consumer every day. There's nothing like Pura. Pura is just part of the cartel. How can we develop? How can we develop? We move on to there. Now we have that petroleum scandal. Government is taking most of the money on tax. Now they're telling you that if the taxi drivers increase, problem with poor people, they are enemy to themselves. We will go and attack the taxi drivers that they are greedy. When we have seen the evidence that, look, petrol is so expensive in the Gambia, expensive more than countries that come and buy it from us. Mali come to the Gambia to buy petrol. How come Mali can sell petrol cheaper than us? Mali buy our petrol, their petrol from us, Gambia. Bulk of their petrol come from the Gambia. How can they have petrol $7 to $8 or $10 cheaper than us or more? How comes? This entire region, we are the most expensive. How comes? The government is lying. They are not subsidizing nothing. It's a lie. But again, the oil marketing companies are part of the cabal. They sponsor this government. They campaign for this government. That's why, and most of them are not even selling you quality petrol. But there's no regulation. They will never call for the regulation required. It's us Gambians who would stand up and fight for our rights to make sure things are done right. It's a cabal. We are dealing with a criminal cartel in that country. The Minister of Finance. City Carter cannot deal with the problems. He inherited a landfill, minefield. Mambure squandered and every debt burden and overspending, inflation and everything. What it takes. You see the crisis in the UK? How to balance these things? Raise tax, reduce tax, and do other things, how difficult it is. You think these people, they cannot even attempt to do it. That's why there's this stalemate between the oil marketing companies and government and other areas. But you have thought that at least one thing they should do is to reduce their spending. But they are not reducing their spending. The president have sent the second wife to go to New York for what? Because of the first wife went to New York. Now your second wife go to New York. We pay for the airfare. We pay for per diem. We pay for impress. We pay for everything. How much? When our people are starving. When people are the Gambia students at the college in Bassett are crying of malnourishment. You think that they are in Ethiopia. You think that they are in Somalia. Crying for that they are malnourished. because they're not eating. A businessman have to donate to them. And this should be our these are our nurse, our teachers, our agricultural extension workers and others. We cannot even take care of them. How can we develop? But the president can spend as much as possible. Then the finance minister, the finance ministry, what sort of budget we have? Where is this per diems and everything being spent? But the people to be supported are not supported. The areas to be prioritized are not being prioritized. Agriculture. You see, again, the politicization. Someone who is incompetent as they come, and who is broke as they come. And soon, you see, he will balloon to something else. He will be tripling himself. Because that's one thing our people can do. The minute they have the privilege, they eat. And all of them, that's why they all are ballooning up. And next minute, they build their big houses. Next minute, they say, and agriculture will just suffer. It's already suffering. The guy doesn't know what to do, how to do. He's not an administrator. He's not an agriculturalist. He's not an administrator. He's not an economics. He's not an agroeconomics. He's technically nothing. He doesn't have a clue. Then you think if you are serious, you, because of this person went and campaigned for you divisively. On tribal, then went on a tribal divisive politics. That's why you have to reward him with the most critical sector, agriculture. And that has already been politicized. You see, you will hear that how many million projects have you had since? Did you see any outcome in that? The fertilizers, whenever there's a fertilizer imported, what happened? Corruption. The same thing. Or there's a program now. That program is going to fail. Given the motorbikes and everything, is going to fail. We have been there before. The government doesn't have any solutions. Corruption they feed on. And because there's no fear, there's impunity. Nobody gets prosecuted. The worst is to be transferred to another ministry or to the foreign service. Once you support the government, you are okay. Or the international. Look at them. All the people that left Barrow's government, look, they've been redeployed. Nobody has ever been this thing, even if they fail. Punish, corrupt, because they had the fish right from the head. Barrow himself is corrupt. The entire system is corrupt. There's no good character in that government. How do we expect things to change? How do we expect things to change? The cost of living, they try to blame it on anything else. But what have this government done to alleviate this? Can you tell us, can this government bring out one initiative? No, they will try to blame the businessmen. Businessmen go into business to make profit. And it's interesting, they say, but you see, Jahatu is farmed in this country, but now Jahatu. You see, these people don't even understand transaction costs. The person selling Jahatu would sell the Jahatu to pay for other things. The person selling Jahatu, the taxes on that person is being increased. Everything else is increased. You want that person to sell his Jahatu for this. Inflation affects everything. But no, they want us to blame the people giving us services. But they don't want to blame their lack of policy or their corruption and the incompetency of controlling or governing the country. And that's where the problem is. We can go on and go on and go on. The OIC, can you just imagine? When I started to say that the OIC is going to fail, it's not going to happen, be it Bailamin Job, the government, the secretariat, Fali, whatever you call him, they all came out. Every day they go to West Coast Radio doing adverts. They know they're lying. And they're paying for adverts. We're going to host. Anytime we're going to host. It's here now. Look at the roads. Look at the roads. Look at those roads. When I said it, you think I am a magician or I see the future? No. We look at what's transpired, the incompetent people running that in the secretariat, the corruption running around there. We give you facts. And they said, why, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? The evidence is here, it failed. The evidence is here, the country is bankrupt. The evidence is here, now it is bankrupt. The evidence is here, there's no hospital delivery system. The evidence is there. They are rich themselves. And the average Gambian is suffering and poor. Students are crying for malnourishment as we live in Somalia. It's a shame, and we call ourselves that we have a democracy. We call ourselves Muslims and Christians. That's what we have. The OIC is here. Look at the roads. And just go and find out how much they said they paid for those roads and what you're going to end up getting. What you're going to end up getting because of the corruption, incompetence, kickbacks. Some of them have not even moved 2%. I did not say it, Barrow said it, and they're still the same condition. Gambisara is linked to Barrow. Gambisara, a company called Gambisara is linked to Barrow. They have never built a road. The person that they used as a front was a supplier. They introduced it. The Sierra Leonean company is just a maintenance company, Pitfords. They all bribe their way in to get contracts. Lot 1, lot 2, lot 3, lot 4, lot 5. Nonsense. And the better, the company that say, oh, it's even doing better, are not delivering what they're supposed to deliver, what it costs. This is what we have. But they want us to blame each other. They want us to fight among each other. They want to distract us among tribal lines and party lines and other things. And anybody else who they cannot, they have to try and label you and for you to be discouraged or to give up or to be silenced. We'll get there. Now, where is the hotels? Where is the 5-star hotel? Again, we went again to tell you that it's a lie. No 5-star hotel is going to, from the beginning. The entire government went and laid the foundation stone. Why our journalists are not going to the foundation and visit the area again and bring us update? Their so-called propaganda, NPP propaganda or OIC propaganda are going around showing us, hey, the airport is coming up, roads are coming up. Where is the hotel? Roads are not coming up. Hotel, and where's the hotel? They just forget about the hotel. Where is Mr. Cham? Why West Coast Radio is not asking the questions? Where is Mr. Cham? Where is the hotel? How far did you go with the hotel? Why this government cannot even have the respect to come and tell Gambians that we fail? OIC is not going to happen. We have 2 months, 2022 they say. We have 2 months to go. We are end of October now. November and December, that's the end of 2022. They cannot invent another 2022. We only have 2022 now. We are not going to witness another 2022. Where is that lies? Who lied now? Who lied to us? They said we fabricated, we lied. Where is it? Where is it? They went and built that. You see that conference center now? Every time they can hurry, we'll just go and use it. And next minute, we cannot have enough money to maintain it. When they started the conference center, they said, look, this doesn't make sense. Gambia cannot be a conference destination. How can we be a conference destination? How can we compete? You have to know what you can compete in. If it comes to West Africa, how can we compete that we can host conferences better than Ghana, better than Senegal, better than other things? They already built their facilities. They are delivering technology. The internet is better. Communication is better. Roads are better. Electric's better. Everything else is better. But that doesn't mean that we cannot build that building as to host the conference, but what do we do to sustain it? I gave many examples. That conference center could have been part of the University of the Gambia to be the faculty for arts, performance arts and culture. Then today, the amount of youth, creative youth we have, they could have gone through to be taught properly, to be formed properly, so that they can be sustainably compete. Their music talent can compete. They will be able to manage themselves, manage things, and prosper in the international markets. But no, we Gambians are easily carried away. A good upcoming star, album launch, First Lady, $100,000 is, oh yeah, they are supporting the artist. Is that support? Yes, that at that moment. But after the album launch, do we have any infrastructure that support our artists? Jalimadis, let's go. How many of them? Do we have anything that support? That's why 1 minute album launch is finished. We need a critical infrastructure to promote our art and culture. We need that. There's none. To support us so that we can sell the destination Gambia for tourism, quality tourism, for culture, not for prostitution, not for pedophilia. That's what we attract now. Few the amount you say, oh, we want upmarket, we don't want this, but you are not doing anything. You have not created anything in the markets. Our beaches are polluted. There's no standards. There's nothing there. How do you expect to do it? We should be smart enough. If you talk about these things, they say, yeah, the guy, you don't want to support the guy. It's not about want to support the guy. We have to do something sustainable. It's not only one form of music that is music. And you need something to support these people. If they play now, you know they have to be surviving to when again? Christmas again. Christmas. And Christmas we have more successful musicians coming from Senegal and others. Can they compete? No. And now they turn out, Gambians don't support them their artists. Look at they're going to Yusundu, they're going to this. It's the quality of music. Can we know that they have the talent, but we don't have a government that think about building for the future. These people should be supported to build for the future. We are the one really advocating for support, not 100,000 once off and this thing vanish. It goes. There are many strategies we could have done. We have very successful musicians in the international community. Sona Jobate could have been supported and recognized. Look, not supported, look, to facilitate Sona Jobate so that Sona could have taken some musicians on the high wing to expose in the international. But Sona is selling Gambia as not. Gambia don't recognize Sona. Gambia government don't recognize Sona Jobate. He's selling Gambia. With the places he goes and talk about Gambia, sing about Gambia, and anything else, nobody does it than Sona. The Sona is got an institution in the Gambia trying to build everything else. No support, absolutely, no recognition. And many others. Julde, I can tell there are so many. There's way we can do things. But that's why there's nothing this government does to create employment and anything else. It's about theft, corruption, and that's why the OIC failed, everything failed. And I tell you, the roads, when they're ready, God knows how it's going to be, and what they promised it's not something they're going to deliver. The conference center is already deteriorating, and I can tell you, next 3 years, you will not want to go there because we don't have it did not generate money to maintain a building like that. Because we did not plan. The government doesn't have a plan. It's all about campaigning and others. But Gambia, the point we are now, the government realized of its instability. The government planned to use the police to intimidate and suppress the inevitable outrage and their fear of escalation of the crisis. The government, and I'm going to put that brief. The government knew, and I said this, explained this. The SIS have advised this government before the election and after the election that, look, things are going to be difficult because of the economy is not doing well. There's so much unemployment, services are not delivering, and things are going to be more difficult in the internals. The subregional problems, the coup d'etats everywhere in the subregion, and the what you call it, the issue about the Ukraine and everything else, cost of living is going to be challenging. Now, we have to find a way to control this. They don't think of anything productive. And this is the reason they brought you Fabakary Tombong, they brought Sidinjai to parliament to obstruct, because they know, especially, let me put it this, they did that. But when they had the parliamentary, You see, that's why they never, every government will form, after presidential elections, every government form their government and appoint ministers. They could not do that. They have to wait till after parliament. Because they want to know because they have a problem. Because when they stole the elections, especially the opposition, especially UDP, were not looking in the right places. They managed to steal the elections. Now they realize now UDP have find the places they were, the way the elections were stolen. Now that could not have been replicated during the parliamentary elections, and they did not have the desired support or the desired number of members of parliament in parliament. Now it's going to be a struggle. This is what brought you Fabakari, that brought you Sidinjai. They will obstruct, they will do anything, and it's up to us to take them on. Now, the government realized this challenge. Did they think of any way to deal with this? No, they cannot, because the system have collapsed. There's no system technically. In order for you to do this, you have to have a system. The corruption have overtaken them. Now, that's why still now you haven't heard any initiative or anything the government is going to do. No, they cannot do anything. But what they're thinking of doing is to suppress. They know that the people will come out. Gambians will be outraged. And I tell you, if you think that it's going to be a political party outrage, the entire Gambia will have to come out one day. One day, I don't know what day it is. And this is not Ben Suare calling them out. They will come out. Because look, what we will have said that Pusante si Maraj Laem is going to get there. The realities are here. Everything has failed. And let me give you an example. They know this. The government knows this. Iran, right now in Iran, people will tell you because of a woman was beaten and to death because he didn't wear his hijab properly. No, that is a catalyst. The people that came out came for different reasons. Most of them the youths, because of the new generation want a different dispensation. They are tired of this Islamic State. That's the outrage. It's nothing to do with America or nothing. It's a lie. Iranians are the ones feeling the pinch, the poverty of the people and all the other things. That's why they're out. The government, when SIS gave that briefing, they know what I'm talking about. They cited what happened in Sri Lanka. The Sri Lankan uprising was not a political party, because the political parties are establishment. It was the people. Singhalese, Tamil, these are rivals. But that day, there was no Singhalese, there was no Tamil. The divisive politics did not work, because they are tired. The government could not pay for petrol. Government could not pay for import cover. Government could not deliver services. And the people have to come out and overrun the state. The Sri Lankan army, the police and everything else could not stop the people. When people all come up at the same time, no government can hold them. Iran, for over a month now, Iran, with their number of police, their fanaticism and everything, they are struggling to control the streets. They are killing as much as possible, but did not stop the people. You see, this is what happened when you push human to the wall. You cannot blame the people. You blame the government for their failure. This is the reality of the corruption and everything. Election manipulations and everything is here for government to face. And we will talk about this. Now, this is happening everywhere else. You know, when the Arab Spring happened, they will tell you, oh, because of a woman student was beaten at Tahrir Square, that's why it's a lie. That's a catalyst. They came out for the price of bread. They came out for the other grievances they have, and Mubarak was deposed. The government knows this. Tunisia, they tell you, oh, because of one of a youth set himself on fire. No. They came for different reasons. And this is why the government have to be very careful. This is why Gambians have to be very careful. And the government, instead, they are stoking the fire. Stoking the fire instead of coming out And we look at the solutions, what we expect of them. But it continues. Everywhere else, this is the reality. Now, if someone would run away and say, hey, Ben Swara is saying this, no. I am telling you the reality, something that government know themselves, something that they've been briefed about. And now they are scared. They are scared. Now they want to stifle this. Now what they're using is the police force. Gambia, let's not be careful. I have here some people saying, oh, it's not the IG, it's the deputy IG. That's a lie. That's a lie. You see, probably some people are not used to this campaign. We have to hold people accountable according to their responsibilities. The IG have a responsibility. If the IG is not responsible of the police, then he need to resign. To say that I'm not responsible, I'm not this thing. But an order or an influence cannot come from the executive to pass the IG to go to the deputy IG. Don't fall for that. If that is the case, then the IG should understand he's been undermined. If the IG is not part of the conspiracy to use the independent institution to suppress the people right to free speech, people's right to free association, people's right for free to demonstrate, then the IG should resign. They cannot blame the deputy IG. If anybody, a police officer invites you, a police officer deals with you, that police officer knows the law. That police officer have a responsibility to dispense the law. The police officer have to respect the law. You have to respect the law as a citizen to be a patriotic citizen. Don't allow your right to be trampled on, but you have to respect the uniform, you have to respect the law, but the police have to respect the uniform and respect the law and go by the due process. That police, let them tell you, no, the pressure is coming from ups. That's not your problem. That's his problem. If he cannot take the pressure from up to do the right thing, he should resign. Unlawful orders are unlawful. We dealt with this and the TRRC. It's now no Gambian can take an excuse. They dealt with this. Then be the IG, be the deputy IG, be the operational commander, be the head of PIU, be it the inspector that invites you, the sergeant, be the sergeant that processes you, and everybody else have to do the right thing. If they fail to do the right thing, we are not going to blame Barrow alone. We should not blame Barrow alone. We should hold them accountable and responsible for what they do. You see, if we think that we can just hold Barrow accountable, this is why they get away with it. And next minute they explain, no, the situation. We have gone past that. We fought for our democracy. We fought for these freedoms. We should not allow this freedom to be taken away from us. They are using the police to intimidate us. Let me come to the case of Ibrahim Adiba. Is it Ibrahim Adiba? Ibrahim Adiba, I think, yeah. What they said, this is from what I heard on social media, that he was invited again. Today he went, and going there, he said to them that I'm going to spend 1 hour. I mean, I'm saying it as I understand it. If you don't think, if I'm wrong, I'm going to spend an hour. Let me see. I think I have the narrative somewhere. 1 minute. I have the narrative somewhere. Okay. Pamodu Bojan said Ibrahim Adiba did not waste time at the police headquarters this morning, and he was let go. According to reliable information we received, he was asked by the police to bring along his passport, which he refused, and asked the officer what his passport got to do with this. He also told them he either be arrested or let him go, but would not spend more than 1 hour at the station. Then upon arrival, the officer in charge told him to forget everything that happened yesterday, and he was let go. Ibrahim did the right thing. This is what I'm talking about. And let me say this. If anybody think that Ibrahim have been unreasonable or did wrong thing, you don't know your right. Or if you know your right, then you are just being selective. The police have a right, if they have reason to believe that you committed a crime, or reason to believe you are about to commit a crime, to intervene. But the police don't have right to waste your time. The police don't have right to this. And the statement that Ibrahim made, there's nothing wrong. That's why the police could not charge him. They know that. The police don't need to interview Ibrahim to know that. They had the information. Because they want to please Barrow, it's not right. You had the information. Clear. Did he say anything? No. It might sound pushing the boundaries. Yes, citizens can push by the boundaries. But nothing was said that was wrong. And if Barrow wants to be respected, Barrow has to respect us. If officers want to be respected, they have to respect us. They are our servants. They work for us. We put them there. They have to respect us. Sadauda and his government, the clowns that behaved that way, they were disrespect. But Sadauda was not disrespect. Sadauda was so fearful of disrespecting the people. Sadauda got terrified when he came to Bakau. The first time in those days to hear this word, bow, wicked, bow, wicked. Sadauda could not understand. When he heard bow and wicked, Sadauda thought that he was being agitated. What he didn't understand, that lingo or the thing was about celebrating him. Wicked was mean good, best. Sadauda was terrified. He came on the platform to address it, to say that Madam Bakankol, malong minele ke, bari inte Sadauda, ngalong ko malong munne mu boti, bari ngalong ne ko manke mo jawyati. Sadauda was terrified. Sadauda have never altered a disrespectful language to his opponents and others. There are some that behave certain ways and they were held to account. Elections do come and there are tensions, there is satire, there are other things. And they create tensions, but after elections, people will get back to their senses because it was the way it was conducted. People used to go and drum. Ablanjai, other things, there are many. I don't want to go through them because most of them are not alive. But look, they know it's satire. They know it's an agitation. It's a campaign period. And we move on. But if a president does it all the time, at the state house, at state functions, at political rallies, whenever he has opportunity with the journalists, he goes and attack individual, go on a tribal, attack, go on, partisan attack. There's no time he stand up to unify the people, but keep on dividing the people. If you divide the people, you want to unite them and you will fail. This is what has happened in the Gambia. This is consequence of what this government have done in the election period. They paid for people to come over to the Gambia to insult. Let us not be hypocrites. You think now everything would vanish? And people are still insulting or defending this thing. That's the situation we created. But before we blame the ordinary Gambians or normal Gambians insulting, let's hold the people with this. We all had them all. We had them incitement of violence from Alcali Conte, a government advisor. Incitement of violence. We had it. We had incitement violence from ministers on podiums that the president is present. Insults, they laugh. What do we expect the other people to do? We cannot have selective justice. The police cannot ignore these things and expect other people to behave. It does not give right to other people to misbehave. But I am saying that if other people misbehave, that's why we have a situation like this. If your government have to take responsibility and rein in their own people and rein in themselves. Dembo by force came out and did a divisive politics, tribal politics and everything. He turned around after the election. He said it was a strategy. That's not a lie. We all had that. Dembo Bison said it was a strategy. Now a government party in government have a strategy to divide a people, insult. Ahmad Ba did the same thing, calling other people cockroaches and others, rats or what, something like that. Agitation, insults. When Yahya Jammeh did that, that's why we had the Gambia we had. That's why he was not respected. People will insult back. Do you know how much I regretted during the struggle, in fact, to use certain strong language towards people, Yahya Jammeh or something like that. I regret that. It's not my nature, but it was the environment we were operating in. We were angry, we were agitated and everything else. It's not right, but that's what happened to human beings. That's why if you are a leader, you have to create a conducive human environment. Ibrahim Diba was right. Why would you need to take your passport for an interview? Why? You see, they wanted, you see, this is for all form of intimidation. Now they know that, you think, if they knew that Ibrahim did not have visa in his passport to travel, you think they would need the visa, passport? No. Why didn't they not ask for an ID card? Because they want to hold the passport now. If Ibrahim was silly enough to give them a passport, they would hold the passport and go and come, go and come, go and come. Ibrahim would, and if even Ibrahim want to travel, he will have to beg. Why would you do that? Should the police do that? No. Then if the police is disrespectful, who is to blame? Because they know that they're doing something illegal. If they listen to Ibrahim's message, there was nothing to charge. If there was something to charge, they could have, during the interview, they could have enough time to charge him. If they have charged Ibrahim and take Ibrahim to court, the only person to demand that is a judge. So that the person can be not a flat, so that he can have a bail condition, a part of the bail conditions. But if Ibrahim allows that, you have to understand this. You see, that's how it started with Yahya Jammeh. When Yahya Jammeh started and insulted the Imam, not Yahya Jammeh, in fact, Sadibu Haidara and others disrespect the Imam Ratib of Banjul. May his soul continue to rest in peace. And with those elders, the Gambians turn around. When he started to abuse the rights of the PPP ministers. Look, you can arrest people, you can detain people, but you cannot abuse them. Humiliating them, putting them on top of trucks, running around. We celebrated. When 11 November happened, soldiers stood out to rectify their mistakes. We said, no, it's the soldiers. They are greedy. They don't want to give these people a chance. And the arrest started until entire Gambia started to become victims. And some of us, only when they became victims, they realized. And even after their victimhood, they go and join Jammeh again because they are cowards and accepted everything. Jammeh would call, to the extent of Jammeh would call our elders and insult our elders. Nothing comes out of it. That was how much we are reduced. The same person who come and say that he respect women, he empowered women. It was a lie. It was divisive to divide to tear up our social fabric between husbands and wives. Oh, no man should be marrying different women, and he was fornicating men with hundreds of women, abusing, raping them during Islamic garbos, raping women whilst people are doing garb and everything else. Coming with the midst of our elders, talking about women's private parts, talking about women hairstyles and degrading women and insulting women. That's what we allow to happen. That's where we end up. But do you know one thing? When that happened, most of the people who were with Jammeh became victims. And when they become victims, we will sit here and support them. There's no victim of Jammeh. Even the perpetrators of crime, Baba Job, anybody else that have worked with Jammeh or this thing, the minute they become victims, what the right thing we do, we hold the government accountable, we hold Jammeh accountable. And that should be the thing. We should not allow government to take our rights. Because when they take one person's right, they're taking everybody's right. And that's how it starts. You don't wait for it to get to you to know that it's not right. Then you might not like someone. Look, you don't have to like everybody. We cannot like each other, all of us. But you don't have to hate anybody to make them to want them to these things, or because of you have political differences or other differences. Their rights should be protected. When we took over after 2016, I stood here and said that the trial of the NIA 9 was not done right, and I still stand by it. It was a selective justice. Yes, those people were sentenced, but there are so many others could have been dealt with. Why are they not been dealt with? When the soldiers were arrested for that so-called WhatsApp this thing, I came out and said everything was wrong, the charges were wrong, it's so severe. They did not commit the crime they were alleged to have committed. We have to protect each other. We should not let our society fall again. Most of these people you see in the Gambia, I'll tell you, among ourselves, and I get to it, they are all us, our brothers, sisters, family, cousins, and everything else, in-laws. But if they don't have a character, we hold them that they don't have a character. Because of their businessmen, these things, most of them are dealing in the drugs. They don't have to see the drugs, they don't have to hold the drugs, but they are dealing with the proceeds and facilitating the drug cartels. That's why no senior Gambian have ever been arrested or will be arrested, because of they are in control of the systems. But they will look at you down that you are in the diaspora. I respect someone in the diaspora. I know people who were almost at the position permanent secretaries or other this thing, came and do certain things to regularize themselves before they have better jobs and everything. I respect those people rather than join Jame or join anything else. Let them do cleaning, let them do anything. That's what human beings should be, to do the right thing, not people lack of character. And our society is led by people who doesn't have character, don't have morals, but they will use our religion as they are pious. They don't believe in nothing. They are not better than people they call pagans. They're not. It's the character of the person you look at. Why do we allow the situation to continue, to develop? When the government have failed completely, we have seen it fail, but we don't want to tell the truth. And now the government don't have anything else apart from intimidate. Apart from the Ibrahim Adiba's thing, the intimidation from the police. I'll tell you this. Suntu Ture have issued out a statement, made audio. First, Suntu should not speak about party politics. He is the deputy Gambian High Commission in London, in England. He should concentrate in doing his job. But this person, you just tell you how evil people can get. What Suntu is saying, and these people, they're evil, they think they're smart. They will not say it directly, indirectly, that's what they're saying. Now they are talking about the police to kill us, to kill our people. For doing what? For doing what? You see, the same thing when Sams has said it, Gambian went on outrage and reported, and tried to report. Now, if soon to repeat these things, I'm telling you, we are going to organize, we are going to make sure the foreign service will be expelled. He will be expelled. We know that he's doing something illegal. Right now here in the UK, he's doing something illegal in the UK. We don't go personal on him. But this guy is so heartless. And you know what I hate is, one, people insulting our intelligence, thinking that you are smart, you can give messages, covert messages, and this thing. You know why? You see, this is what happens if you employ incompetent people because of they support your party or anything. Suntu knows that he doesn't have the capacity to be a deputy high commissioner. If the government wanted to do right, there are many positions that Suntu could have worked at. He could have worked as liaison officer and do other things, but he doesn't have the capacity. I stand by that. But now he's deputy this thing, he would do anything. This is what Yaya Jammeh used to do. People who have no competence, give them. Soldiers that could not give them promotions, they will do anything for you. Junglers, give them alcohol, give them more power to have to rape women, to have access to things, to deal in drugs and do anything. And if you ask them to go and kill, they kill for you. Civil servants that have no competency, give them position, permanent secretary ministers, they do anything for you. Take women, take yai companies, buy companies and give them money, go and say anything for you. Take youths, organize them, youths at that age. Let them create camps for them. Let them dance to reggae music. Let them bring big artists from Jamaica, pay thousands of dollars for that. Bring people from America, bring musicians from Senegal. Let's play, let's dance. And the youths, wherever Yaya called, they will run. They don't think about Yaya, they don't give them jobs, they don't give them education, they don't give them anything. And few people that he give education orders, they will fight because they want to be the new elites. Suntu want to be among the new elites. He knew that today, if Barrow government failed, what happens? He failed. Because he was not going to be a deputy ambassador. He's not going to be an ambassador. He's not going to be a minister. You see, this is the problem. That's why if you are silenced, these people, that's what they do. What Suntu have said? I don't have time to play to this thing, but just to give you. He is saying that, in the United Kingdom and America, so police are giving guns. They are giving taser guns. If we want to take examples, I take examples from different countries all the time. Either you use their mistakes and say that we should not commit this mistake. They do something, you say that we can do something better. That's what we do. When he gave examples of America, what happened in America when police have guns? They kill black people. They kill ethnic minorities. You see, a white person will kill 10 people and still hold the gun, and the police will not kill him. They will negotiate. They will try every tactics to arrest him. And they will put a fly jacket to him. They don't want him to die. Is that an example? That's what he's saying. What he's saying that, look, that anybody who against you, because now they know that people are against. I mean, even they themselves who supported Barrow or this thing, we are seeing them. Now, some of them in the diaspora, they're quiet. Or some of them are starting to grumble. On the ground, they are grumbling, saying that they haven't got what they thought they were going to get. They know that anybody against you, kill him. That's what it's saying. That's what America does. The other thing, he deliberately said something that's not true. He lied. He said the United Kingdom police carry guns and tasers. That's a lie. Special police units. You go to airports, you go to train stations, and you don't see them very often, to anti-terrorists. And hardly you hear a British police officer shoot someone. Hardly. Because many people have campaigned for police to be routinely armed. No, they resisted. That's what we should look at. Why they resist? Because it's not civilized. They have many ways police can operate to fight crime. Here, yes, police brutality is here. And who are the victims? Black people, ethnic minorities, not whites. Go and look at the statistics. Now, what he is saying again is the same thing. Go for perceived government opponents. That's what Suntu is telling us. And he is staying here with his family. But go for, and the same person during the dictatorship, he knew what he was doing. He was against what Yahya Jammeh was doing. That tells you that most of these people, if they had the opportunity to serve Yahya Jammeh in certain position, they would have served Yahya Jammeh. The only reason they serve these political parties or to put their neck for political parties is not because of they love the leader or they love the party or they stand for justice and truth. No, because that's the way they expect to be something in society. They don't want to rely on their own potential. They don't have integrity. But these are the people that during that they will talk about God. They will talk about Allah. They don't believe in it. They don't trust in it. It's a hypocrisy. The same Suntu talking about, yes, the legislation for anti-Semitic, for against tribalism, it's legislation for incitement of violence. He is inciting violence. He's inciting police brutality. That's what his incitement is. Government violence is illegal. Government should not abuse its citizens. That's what he's inciting. But the same Suntu is a hypocrite. He never called out Barrow for inciting tribal hate, inciting tribal division, and Dembo Bifos and all the other people insulting on behalf of Barrow and the NPP platforms. He have never called them out. What he is saying that let those people do what they do on anybody else does that go after him. Is that justice? We should not insult anybody. We should not be dissing for anybody. But what he's not saying that, he's saying to be selective. The only thing, because he's fear, they have fear, the government have fear that they are going to crumble. Look, it's not our doing. It's a democracy. We give you opportunity. What did you do? You stole the elections. You cannot still maintain the country. Deliver. That's all what people ask for. That's all that people ask for. Deliver. If you didn't deliver, it's up for the people. You think Ben Swari can bring people out? No. People will come out when the time reaches for them to come out. The pinch. Ben Swari is not out here because of the pinch he's feeling himself. The pinch I'm feeling from my empathy for my people. For my people, Gambian people, that's why I'm here. Not because of anything else. But the people are frustrated. Yeah, Gambian lead them. No. We will talk. We'll do our duty. This is our duty. We cannot sit to say that when history is repeated, no, we didn't do anything. We did our bit. And other people do their bit when the time arises. But Suntu, you see, this is the intimidation, the police brutality and everything else we should not stand for. And the police, be the inspector, be the sergeant, be anybody that took part in anything should be named and shamed and to be held accountable. And up to Barrow. If anybody to say that, oh, it's not the IG, it's the deputy IG, that's a distraction. The IG is in charge of the police. He is paid. We paid him. He's given that responsibility. He cannot blame his deputy. If he's not happy with that, let him resign. But if he's there, IG should be held responsible. But not only the IG, but the person who invites you to go and answer should be held accountable. Now they're going into this intimidation. Let me see there. Because of the impending outrage, now the other thing they want to rely on is divisive politics. You see, a few days ago, Sisla Jadama, he's my younger brother, I can call him, he won't attack me. Now, Sisla put something to say that, oh, let no UDP go and support the 11th November. That's Sisla's opinion. But I said to him, son, what you advocating is wrong. Let people do what they feel is right, and it's their constitutional right to do. If you think that this 11th November should not be supported because of they are not UDP, or UDP have done their bit, I said, that's all. If you don't feel something, you rather be quiet and let other people do. Because, you see, it will start from somewhere. And people, you see, if, I'll tell you, if anything, Barrow government have realized that UDP is the most constituted party, most structured party. If he feared the UDP more than any other party, he feared the UDP more than any other organization in the Gambia, be civil society or not. Barrow knows that. His government knows that. As Yaya Jammeh knew that. They knew that. That's why they will go for the UDP first. But when Yaya Jammeh started with the UDP, he did not stop with the UDP. He did not stop with the UDP. When you advocate for social justice, you don't be selective. You might feel that people are not supporting or people are not coming right, but you are not doing it because of people are. You are not doing it because people are not doing it. You are doing it because you're supposed to do it. I don't sit here to say that I advocated against Jammeh. We had 2016 UDP. I came and advocated against the coalition, and UDP came against me. Now I should keep quiet. UDP is out of government. No, then I am not real. Then I am against UDP. Or I was only against Jammeh. No, I am against the system. And whoso have most responsible, I hold account more. And that's direct account. Because I pay taxes, we pay taxes, we give all the resources to government to deliver. And I will tell you, the next government, I will hold to account more than any institution. Because that's how third world countries work. We don't have the luxury. That's why we should be careful. Now, what they're trying to do is divisive politics. And Gambians, many would fall for it. But will fall for it for a while. You see, the divisive politics is about looking at the most prominent that you feared to try to undermine them. That's why when they started, they said reconciliation with UDP. That was to try to cherry pick the UDP to disintegrate them. That did not work. Now will be intimidation to the UDP. And now they are going to look at their active members and intimidate them. And if the UDP did not stand up for these people, then other people will be intimidated, and then the party would be done. If Ibrahim Adiba's passport was taken and Ibrahim get frustrated economically, he get harmed, another Gambian or another person who said, oh, I have to avoid, if not they take my passport, I'm able to travel, all this. That's what they do. It's the same thing. It happened in the general government. What did it lead us? Led us to Yahya Jammeh. Yahya Jammeh did us, brutalized us and everything, did not stop us. We defeated him, but he came back on because we did not hold on to our principles. Now, that's what Barrow is trying to do Yahya Jammeh on us. He wants to divide us first, then put the fear. Because once we are divided, then he can put the fear, and what the fear set in, then he will consolidate power completely. Still, he cannot manage to consolidate power. And you know, consolidation of power is not about only the fear and the brutality. It's about delivery, what we call the bread and butter politics. If you cannot deliver even the basics of necessities of life, you cannot have a support base. You cannot give every Gambian $1,000 a day. Then if you don't create jobs, if you don't, you cannot deliver, telecoms cannot deliver, hospitals are not delivering, water is not delivered, I mean, everything else, tourism have failed, livelihoods failed. I mean, you have a problem with the people. Now, even your party cannot be behind you. That's why even the NPP are not behind. Yeah, you'll still have people that are still having crumbs. They'll still advocate. But the main thing they're telling you, we didn't see our promise. The campaign promise is not here. This is the consequences of consequence of elections. But that does not mean that we have to ignore the people. If UDP think, oh yeah, because they decide this way, I'll tell you, this is what I was saying. If you are in politics, you have to take it and continue, or you resign. But we are here. We have to confront this. The divisive, they will, you see the insults, we have to be very careful. The insults, look at the people, most of the people insult, you don't even know them. I'm not saying, I don't want to like use the word, they are nobody. They are just ordinary people being used. They don't even mean the insult, they insult a tribe. If anyone insults Sarah Hulis, do you know that that person insult himself? If anybody insult Mandinkas, insult himself. Anybody, any sane person, normal person would not do it. Would not do it. They do it for a reason. Dembo Bifos told you it was a strategy to irritate us, to divide us, to distract us. Then let us look at the context. Let's deal with that. Let us not be intimidated. Let's not be divided. Let's not be distracted. That should be the answer. That's why whenever they're on the back foot, what here, you just hear the insults start. What brought out the insults? What brought out the insults? Ask yourself. It's engineered. It's engineered. Because of the baby, about the death of the babies, about everything else government doing so, now they want to distract us. Taking us to the police station. Yeah, Jammeh used to do that. arrest people, put them on bail, put them through the courts, and they will not. And UDP will spend all their resources going to the courts, going and coming. UDP will spend all their time going, reporting police, coming back. Then you will not go on campaign. You will not do this. You will not do that. What? Learn a lesson from Usman Sonko. A government have to be confronted as they give. Learn a lesson from Usman Sonko. This is the reason Usman Sonko is still not behind prisons. He would have been in prisons now. He would have been finished. He would have been finished. The divisive. Let's move on. You see, the state, instead of having initiative, doing something about this, try something to work, nothing. Because they don't have it. They don't have the resources. They squander the resources. There's no dollar in town, but they're still spending dollars. The wife is going to America. This guy is doing this. They are doing deals, taking money from Social Security to convert to this thing, to buy buses. All they're doing it because of the they cannot stop themselves. They are addicted to corruption. But now, there's another problem the government have, and I am telling you Gambia have. You see, if you love this country, there's a problem we have here. Let's explore the position of ECOMIG, the Gambia Arm Forces, and the Subregional dynamics. I'll tell you something. When I came back from Liberia, that's why I agitated to leave the armed forces. Because I know where it's going to end. I know where it's going to end. I didn't want to be part of that. And I agitated to bring it to the notice so that something can be done. Before, what made me finally even to take that decision, when I came back from Liberia and I finally had a debrief with Colonel Sao, that was the British Army training team, head of the British Army training team. He categorically told me this, that they themselves, they are leaving because they are frustrated. The government is not listening. He said they are frustrated, the government is not listening. They have done everything possible, but they cannot support what is happening, and the consequences will be there, and they don't want to be there when they happen. And the government have already contracted Nigeria. It was in confidence. It was in confidence. I decided to say, okay, now this is the last straw. Let me go on a wall so that when I will be punished and I'll push. And what I want to push, I said, I'm gonna resign. 1 year left. I served 5 years. And the punishment would be to be court-martialed if I force, and to be sentenced. The lightest sentence would be to spend the rest of my time in service in detention. But what I wanted, the opportunity to blow the whistle. But they were smart enough not to give it to me, because when I wrote my statement, they saw how political it was. I was ready to blow the whistle. But I'll tell you, before that happened, there was a guy called Jobo. Jobo, what's Jobo's first name? I forgot. Sergeant Job. He's in customs now. He ended up in customs. I forgot Sergeant's job name. Jobo from Kahur. Jobo was the first person to be victimized. He stood up during parade and said, look, what is happening in this country and this army is going to lead to a coup d'etat. Something of that. They were not happy. He was dismissed, and they sent him, and he went to customs. I wanted to whistleblow. They did not let me. They let me off. I was discharged. And many people, oh, how did you do it? How did you do it? I just agitated. They let me go. But I knew it was going to happen. And it happened. It happened. You see, if you understand national security, you can tell where things go. And the government know that they are in trouble. But, you know, if you have seen what crisis does to a country. You know, we had 81, and most people can't remember 81. It was bad. But I tell you, if anything like that happen again, and I'm saying this to avert it, I don't want it to happen. The government should be very careful. Let them stop stoking fire. Government should look for measures. Government should look ways to get, look, Adama Barrow to either call a national conference and resign and put the government in on national unity and leave. That would be a bargain for him. But if he thinks he can force the people, suppress the people, they are lying to you, Adama Barrow. They cannot do that. Yaya Jammeh try it, that's where it ended up. You lost legitimacy because of you failed to deliver. And the more you go doing wrong, the more you lose trust and confidence. And if you lose trust and confidence, what people should do or would do is to take the streets. Either the institutions will act, that's parliament, to impeach you, to get you out. Parliament failed to act. What happened? People organize themselves and come to the street, occupy the streets until you leave. This is not Ben saying that it should happen, but this is what happened. It happened everywhere else we see. And you know that it happens everywhere else. If they tell you that they can deal with this by suppressing the people, they are lying. They are making it worse for you. Because every day you stay, every day you try to do something wrong, is adding up to your charge sheet. Every day you add corruption, is adding up to your charge sheet. You are not going to get away with it. You are not going to have freedoms after you leave power. No. No. Tomorrow I will upload a video to show you Freetown. Mother Bill is so scared now. He's got two companies, but a fighting company escorting him inside Freetown because he's scared. And why come to that Subregional thing? Barrow, this is not a solution. You have failed. Your government have failed. Your finance minister is in tatters. He knows what to do, but he cannot do it because of it's overwhelming. Your agriculture minister doesn't know what to do, and he will. There's nothing that is going to work. You know that you can salvage this, and I tell you this. I personally spoke to business, and these people that they supported you, and some of them had their bets. They supported UDP behind the scenes. I'm telling you, I spoke to them. I don't sit down here just to talk. I am in tune with what goes in the Gambia. I spoke to senior business executives in the Gambia today, Gambians I mean, who are completely discouraged. They lost faith. They regretted supporting you. And they are distancing themselves now because they said that they have seen the impending crisis and they don't want to be victimized. That is how much you lost confidence. These are people that supported you, gave you campaign funding, and supported you. And they wanted you to be there for whatever reason that they thought their business would be better off with you. But at the same time, they were doing a bit for UDP behind the scenes in case they thought UDP might do it. But some of these people, in fact, told me that they were reassured that you're going to win. They didn't know how, but they never believed you will win. I told them because of the people that reassured you know that they have sold the elections already. But they said that they saw what UDP had, they thought UDP were going to win. That's why they had their bets. These people don't have confidence in you anymore. Their businesses have collapsed. They are suffering. But not only that, they have their family, they have themselves in the Gambia, their business in the Gambia, and they are scared of what's going to happen because they did not see the solutions being upset. That's why I'm calling Gambians. We should not allow that. They're so dangerous. What's going to happen? That's why we should organize ourselves to make sure we have things to be done right. I'll come to this bit. Because now, the situation in the Gambia, the failure security sector reforms have cost us a lot. You know why we still have ECOMIG? Because of Barrow did not trust the armed forces of the Gambia. I am not going to say I don't trust the armed forces of the Gambia, but I will tell you, if I was a security advisor today, I will tell you that if crisis happens, I cannot rely on the armed forces of the Gambia because there are vested interests that have influence, that can influence, and they might act. Let me say this, they might act on the interests of those vested bodies. You know, we only think of Yahya Jammeh as the vested interest. No. I am not going to go deep into it. It's of national security. And I can tell you, I have spoke to senior government officers, technocrats. I have spoke to senior security officers, and they agreed on this fear of what is going to happen in the country. It's not only business people, technocrats, and senior police and military officers. No, these people have concern. They have love for the country. They are fearful, and I can tell you that there are people within the systems looking for jobs outside the country because they are fearful of what's going to happen in the Gambia. I am telling you, this is a fact. Now, this is what is happening. That's why I call Barrow and I advise Barrow to stop the intimidation. It does not going to work. Let them not lead you to the alley. Hand over a government to national unity. Get yourself out of this. You have no competency to do this. You cannot. I'm telling you. You can get out now and better for you. But if you think Ben Swari hates me, doesn't want it, just take that. Take their advice. We'll witness what's going to happen. But I don't want us to witness the worst of it because it can get worse. The ECOMIG is in the Gambia and what we call mission crypt. ECOMIG is no more an effective mechanism. But it's serving the interests of the French, serving the interests of Senegal. I'm telling you this based on national security analysis. I cannot go deep into it again, but I put it out there. I'll try and see how to just give an overview on that. Because of we fail, we could have reformed our armed forces, reform everything and rebuild confidence. But everything would be delivery. But you know, the amount of corruption and the damage caused to this government, we will need to restart. We will need to constitute a new unity government. And that's the only way we can control the situation. That's my belief. That's my analysis. Failure to do that, the continuity of Barrow government for next elections, I don't see the sustainability of that. This is my belief, my expert analysis on this. As something has to be done now. The longer it takes, the more we're going down there because things are going to get more difficult and people will be frustrated and things cannot recover because the government doesn't have what it takes to do that. But a restart might give people hope. We can manage the situations and save our sovereignty, save the Gambia. Now, what mission crypt means is, I don't want to get into details, but let me just say ECOMIG is not effective anymore. You see, without compromising security, I'll tell you what security means is to avert, to avoid. But another part of security is the best form is to avoid. The other part is contingency planning. How do you act with the anticipated threats? How to deal with those threats? And if those mechanisms fail, if it happens, what can you do? And if you do those analysis, you see that ECOMIG technically would be redundant. One thing they can do is first, and I can reference many incidents that make you understand, but I don't have time. What first ECOMIG will do is for themselves. It's for themselves. Because let nobody fool you. When it happened in Rwanda, the peacekeepings, they had to make sure they are safe. They could not take it on. When it happened in Sarajevo, the peacekeeping have to make sure they are safe. When it happened in Congo, peacekeeping have to make sure they are safe. Because the soldiers cannot be seen taking on civilians. Soldiers cannot be seen, Senegalese soldiers cannot be seen firing on Gambians. Because if that happened, a civil war will ensue. Then Gambia is not, we can salvage this. We should not sit down and be quiet and let Barrow commit this mistake. And these people handling Barrow don't care. They are the same people that handle Yahya Jammeh. They don't care. That's why I call the opposition to get up and talk to each other. That's why I call civil society to get up and talk to each other. That's why I call every moral citizen to tell the truth and stop this divisive politics. Yes, we know certain things happen. We can hold that into perspective, but we cannot just hold onto that and not see the impending damage that is coming to our country, the unrest that is coming to our country. If we are not careful, if Barrow is not careful, and things get worse, and Gambians come out, how is he going to manage that? The police will not be able to manage it. What would happen is ECOMIG cannot. They will save themselves. One thing ECOMIG can do and Senegal could do is evacuate Barrow to save this thing and help us to, and help the situation to stabilize. But, a big but. What happened in Sri Lanka, that's a walk in the park. That might be just to happen, and I'll tell him we might, struggle and fix things. But we don't know. I cannot tell you 100. I can give you analysis based on what I feel and some people I talk to. I am not on the ground to assess other things. That's why I cannot tell you exactly how the armed forces will react. Because if things overflows, the Gambia Armed Forces will have to play a role. Barrow don't trust them. That's why we still have ECOMIG in the country. Barrow will not want them out. But if there's a level that Barrow will not have control for them coming out. If they come out, do we know what's going to happen? No. And if it gets to a certain level, there is so much hate in certain quarters. There are so much things that happen between individuals and so on. Do we know what's going to happen? There are so much vested interests, the cartel and everything in our country. Do we know what's going to happen? No. Then it is to our interest. That's why I said Ben Suarez will never call up for anything to destabilize that country, because I know the consequences. We're not going to have a control over it. That's why I resigned in 1992 to not wear the uniform, because I don't want to be in a situation I will be useless. I am doing this because I care for that country. I don't know who is going to be the next president, or whoever it is would be someone not to benefit me, but to benefit that country. I'm not looking for that. I don't care about which party comes up. What I care about, what the party does, or the people that come up to lead, what they do. But I will always be there. If God allowed me with the good health to do the bit I can, to share the little knowledge I have. But this is their situation, and this is the reality of the ground. Situation. And the government know that, security sectors know that, I talk to business people know that, and any sensible Gambian should know that. What we should ask ourselves, what is the government doing with it? If it happens, that's why I say going to arrest people, going to intimidate doesn't work. Let them not lead you to that. Reinforcing, recruiting more PIU, arming the PIU would not work. Sumtu Ture telling you to arm the police, this thing would not work. Countries that tried them did not work. Germany tried it, it did not end up working. What happens is, once you commit one mistake, you keep on doubling. Now you would go on to build Malaysia, junglers, and everything else, and it's not going to work. Still, Gambians came out. 30th December, Gambia came out because of not anything. They left their comfort zone because they cannot sit down. People would you will unite the people, in fact. You see, this divisive politics have a level that it will stop. If you cannot deliver, divisive politics will not work. People will realize that they are all in this together. That's why I'm warning you. I know that, Barrow, I'm talking to you. I know that, and you know that this is fact. Your SIS have. Definitely, I have seen the briefs. What they brief you is right. What the solutions are wrong though. The brief that the impending crisis, the impending is right. If those reports are very competent. But the solutions, you don't have them. You don't have them. You don't have the competency. Your government doesn't have the trust and competency. We need a reset this button. What they told you about the subregion is open to see. You see, any intelligent person can say this. We see these problems in Burkina Faso. Yes, because of they're using the threat about the Islamists. That's the excuse. Guinea-Conakry was the excuse. Mali, that's the excuse. But again, there's all the interest groups. The French have vested interests to have governments. Yes, you are serving their purpose now, but if things get to critical listening, they are going to look for how their interests will be protected. And you might, when you lose, you see, when you are in charge, the minute you start losing, you lose your people and you lose your support and you'll be sacrificed. That's why dictators end up being sacrificed. Jammeh and all the sacrifice. All these people you see telling you loyalty, they're lying. You see, the minute Jammeh was to lose or likely to lose, look, we started talking to all those people that were showing that they supported Jammeh, they love Jammeh. They're lying. They're opportunists. And they will do the same thing to you. Then be careful. But Gambia, Barrow cannot help himself. We are to help ourselves to do the right thing. Now, we have seen the sub-region, what is happening. You know, Freetown, Sierra Leone is likely next. And tomorrow I will post the video and show you the amount of escort now. And this is new. Manabio was popular, but now it's tense because he have committed the first mistake. Big mistake, kill those people and even deny their families to bury them. Now he is because he's dealing with the devils now. They all end up dealing with devils. And now he have a company. How many vehicles and everything, that will not stop it. I don't want to go into details of security, but I'll tell you the many ways things are done. But let them not fool you. Presence of ECOMIG is not an absolute guarantee, and they have passed their use-by date. There are many things that can happen. That's why the solution now is for you to realize this and press the reset button. Reset button. I'll tell you something, you will hear this. You will hear this. There's already message they started saying that, oh, Barrow said he's not going to run to third term. It's a lie. They're doing that to control or divide us. For us to say, no, it's a lie. It's a lie. And there's already someone within Barrow's saying they have promised him he's going to be the candidate for Barrow NPP. And people that promise him, Wage is part of them. And this is a lie, and that person has believed it. Now that person is allowing the corruption to happen because believe that these people are going to support him. He will be the NPP candidate next election. That's a lie. Barrow want to run. Only if things this, but Barrow want to run and run and run. But if you hear this from any quarter, tell them Ben Suarez said it's a lie. It's manufactured to distract us. We are not talking about elections now. We are talking about the situation to salvage it. And Gambia, final note, I'm sorry today I can't get to local languages. I'm very tired. I have to go to work tomorrow. I am telling you guys, what I am saying is the police officers, remember what happened with the TRRC. I know that you think that, oh, TRRC happened, nothing came out of it, go and everybody is prospered, moving. But if you care about your family, respect yourself, care about your decision, I think you should know that you should not carry out any unlawful orders because you'll be held accountable. I know some of us, some people within the system have no shame that their children will be going into schools to hear their fathers or mothers being talked about, their wife will go to ceremonies, be hear their husband be talked about and everything. They live like that during their mess time. But people that have not committed those crimes before, be careful, don't allow this to happen. Because it's not going to end well. But the Gambians, again, I'm calling the politicians to put your differences away, to salvage our country. Salvage our country. If we don't organize ourselves and hold this government accountable to make sure we redress this, something's going to happen one day. One day, Pam and Gambians are so depressed now. And if it happens, these political party leaders even will not be in control. I'll tell you that. Be careful. Be careful. If you think something will happen here, will be in control. Look at this. Go to history. Go and check history. What happens? You will not be in control. The only time you are in control when there's order. That's why political leaders should make sure there's order now, there's accountability, and we can bring about change. Civil society, any credible civil society should be proactive now to make sure we have dialogue, to make sure they bridge the gap, the transaction cost, to make sure they bridge the gap of this partisancy and tribal differences to fight against that. Any moral citizen should do the same thing as civil society do. Try and speak the truth. Try to hold this government accountable. Try to bring the people together to organize themselves. Demonstrations are part of that process. When the government feel the heat, they start to do the right things. But if we undermine the 11 November, undermine anything, and political parties members to be picked up, to be harassed, and we sit down and watch, it's not going to stop them. But the system is going to fail. And I tell you, if we fail and allow uncivil unrest, I'm not saying that Senegal would want that, but Senegal will benefit. Because they are the most competent nation today. They are already within us, and they will intervene. And if they intervene, we don't know how it's going to be. We might have the situation on Guinea-Bissau, conflict from different forces fighting different ways. It might be tribal, might be anything. These armed forces might be split to fight against fighting for different groups. Everything is possible. But the end game is we might end up losing everything, and a puppet government will be put in place, and Senegal will have control of that because France will support them for that. I'll give an example how France is playing this. In order for ECOMIG to stay longer, I'll have to do this for people to understand. I am so tired. Let me just have a break. Gambians should remember that the EU was taking care of ECOMIG. When EU was taking care of ECOMIG, many times the EU representative will come out and hold government accountable. Look, deliver the armed forces, deliver the reforms so that ECOMIG can finish. I think they were given $50 million a time to support ECOMIG operations in Gambia. Now, because France want to maintain ECOMIG, what did they do? They told our government not to deal with EU, to deliver what they meant to deliver, to ask for the support. When the time arises, France now took the tap through Senegal to support the ECOMIG. Now EU, when EU was asked, they said Gambia did not approach them for funding, and because of no, now France is doing it. Now France is maintaining ECOMIG. Why do we still have ECOMIG in the country as a counterbalance? But it's not, you see, sustainable. Now, again, ECOMIG is by name. By nature, it's Senegal. Because the other countries are symbolic. I'll tell you that. They're symbolic. Now, the contingent of Senegalese that was in Fonyi, remember that contingent was not part of ECOMIG. Now, so often we now had that they're part of ECOMIG now. You see how they play things, and we should be very careful. We should be very careful. The armed forces is our brothers and sisters. We should not be weak enough, lack leadership to think that we cannot reform that. We cannot bring them to be patriotic, to be Republican. That's our failure, the government failed. And when we talked about reforms, and they were calling, oh, we're doing this strategy, we're doing this, it was all nonsense. We said it then, and it's here. There's no tangible proof of that. Gambia, thank you very much, guys, and I will come back another time to this. I'm really tired now. I would have loved to, do a brief to summarize this in Wolof, but I'm just tired. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good afternoon.